So on my last video I said I was going to be uploading another video that night about the Universal Solutions project, but I didn't. And why? Because I was unable to create the video that I wanted to make. I scripted it, recorded, edited, evaluated 3 times, and thus I decided it was not worth making anymore. But the project will still go forward, so all I can say is if you want more information about USP, then click on the USP link in the description of this video. Things are changing exponentially in the world right now, and you know what frustrates me most? How many people are still asleep. And I'm not just talking about strangers and people I see on my commute to and from work. I'm even talking about friends, people that I know. For almost 2 years now, I could see mass civil unrest coming with a failing global economic crisis. But I kept doubting myself because, some people think you're crazy or a conspiracy theorist, or you shouldn't doubt the system and criticize it. You should keep your head down and then everything will be all right. And I guess to a certain degree I was believing in that. But the signs kept coming, and now, just looking at what's happening in the world right now, if that is not telling you that something is seriously wrong, then you really, really need a reality check. My YouTube channel has always been about inspiring the world to inspire, and trust me, that is not going to change. But with everything developing so fast in the world, I realise I no longer need to spend all of my energy telling every individual person I meet what is happening in the world. Because it's not going to be long until this affects everyone and people think, how the fuck did this happen? Occupy Wall Street. Do you know what that is? If you don't, that's fine, because for weeks now, mainstream television news networks and newspapers haven't listed this event as an important news story. But then there are people who know about Occupy Wall Street, and they're asking questions like, why are they protesting? Why don't they get jobs? Well, I have a question for those people, and that is, why don't you do some proper research? But then there are mainstream news networks like Fox News and CNN who have journalists who are even asking, why are these protests happening? I mean, they must be some pretty fucking amateur journalists if they're asking that question weeks on after it started. Oh, and maybe it's because they're also run and funded by the corporations that these people are protesting about. Self-preservation comes to mind. So what's my point? Pay no more attention to traditional mainstream media, everybody. Because they have one main function in society, and that is to maintain the status quo. Oh, and to make money, make that 2 points. The fact that you are watching this video right now is evidence that you have access to a tool which can free you. The internet. Become a journalist yourself. Search around, find your own sources, and come up with your own conclusions on the events that are happening in the world right now. Just don't be spoon-fed by these elite-funded news networks that only give out information tainted by their own agenda. Constructed information shouldn't just be about opinion anyway. It should be about reporting actual research and using critical thinking. Most of the major news networks are influenced by those that fund them, and most of the governments are influenced by those that fund them. So do yourself a favour and open your eyes, realise, empathise with the real world around you, and shed some light. Because trust me, those that live their lives sipping champagne and counting their money don't give a fuck about you. And the sooner you realise that, the sooner we can take constructive action to find solutions and allow these people to give a fuck about their fellow human beings again. After all, the only reason they are that way is because the system has allowed them to be. They're not evil people, they've just been brought up in an environment in which money comes first. Corporate greed over human need. And yes, I hear a lot of people say, but ignorance is bliss, or I like living in my own bubble. But I make this point again and again. If something is going to burst that bubble, don't you think we should stand up together and protect it? The truth is, these protests are happening across the planet whether you like it or not. So turn off your TV, stay well away from traditional mainstream media, and use the internet to help participate in society in helping find real solutions to real problems. Because this world is the responsibility of everyone, and everyone includes you. As Alexander Hamilton once said, those who stand for nothing fall for anything. This is real, so please wake up.